Hello, hello, hello. Just give me a minute or two here till I get things set up. All right, I think we're okay. Facebook's being kind to me tonight. Please say hello when you get here. I'm a couple minutes early because I was having problems with Facebook last week, and I wanted to make sure that everything's good. Everything looks good to me. All right. I think we are going to get started. Everything looks good on my end. Hello, hello, hello everyone. My name is Shel Anderson and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I do short lunch break with Shel video tutorials Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon, and I do Facebook Live videos Wednesday nights at 6:30. This is Thursday night. I canceled my video last night because we had a big snowstorm here in Winnipeg, and I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to make it in time home from work, so I have rescheduled it to tonight. And I thank you for popping in and saying hello and joining me tonight. I am doing a special request tonight. I did this card for a blog hop last Saturday, and I had somebody ask me if I could show how to do a magic card. And basically what you do with this card is you pull it, and like magic, it's colored. Okay? It's not difficult. It is, however, a little bit time consuming. So I'm going to attempt to run through it. Tonight we're going to be using the Silly Goose and Stylish Shapes dies. And of course our Stamparatus. You need a Stamparatus for this, in my opinion. It's going to be almost impossible to do it without. You're going to need StazOn and Memento black ink both. You're going to need a pencil and an eraser. You're going to need a paper piercer or take your pick tool, a hole punch, some Stampin' blends to color your images, some tear and tape, some ribbon. I have chosen the white crinkled seam binding, and some jaw clips. All right. So I showed you how the card works. I have another card here that's partially put together so that as we go through this, I can show you exactly how to see inside, because you're not going to be able to see it from the outside. First thing I'm going to tell you is I'm not going to tell you any measurements because I'll put them in a blog post. It's too difficult to figure that out. I'm just going to show you the mechanics tonight. I will give you the measurements tomorrow. Okay? So, you take a piece of DSP that is 5.5 by 12. That's the only measurement I'm going to give you. And you score that on the 4-inch and you score it on the 8-inch. And then one of these pieces, it doesn't matter which one, you're going to cut it off a little bit so that it fits in there nicely and doesn't bind up. Both of these pieces are going to fold towards the center. Okay? Make sure they're nice and straight panels. And then you need to die cut a shape in your middle panel. Okay? It can be whatever shape you want. It can be wherever you want on the panel. It's what you want. Okay? So that is the first part. Now, I have got a little, I used one of the stitch circles, and I cut out this little frame to put on it. So I am going to grab my, or I think I am going to grab my little bottle of Tombow. Oh, it's hiding. And we're going to put this on first because I don't want to get any of this on the acetate sheet. So we'll put this on right off the hop and it'll be dry before the acetate ever gets there. There we go. And we're just going to pop that in place. You don't need to do this step. I just like to have a little frame around the hole. Okay? So that, we're just going to set that aside to dry for a minute. Then the internal part of our card, once we cut that and score it on the score line, we need to burnish that nice and flat. Then you'll notice that I have put on a strip of Terran tape. Okay, so we're going to take this card and we are going to put this on the inside panel face side up. Okay, so this is going to be the stopper. So basically it has to cover, this has to be able to see all the way. You can't have it like this. You have to have it so that it completely covers, but it also has to be between these score lines. Now this one is a little bit too wide, so I am going to trim this down just a smidge so that it fits in there nicely and doesn't bind. You don't want anything too tight or too binding. Okay, so just like so. Now I'm going to take that paper piercer and I am going to remove that backing, and the shortest panel is this one. Yes, the shortest panel, the one you took that little sliver off of, you're going to fasten that down. Okay, give that a little press. Now I'm going to bring in another card at this step. You can see the inside of this card, how this is going to work. I intentionally didn't glue this together. Okay, so we're going to have our acetate sheet on the top of that white piece we just put in, this piece here. The acetate sheet goes on the top and the stamped cardstock goes on the bottom. So that's how that's going to all go together inside that card. All right, just to give you a visual so that you know how it's going to go together. All right, now we have this piece. It can be just a folded piece of cardstock. It can be whatever you want. I just thought that that would make a nice closure for that card. So now I'm going to use the big glue bottle of Tombow, and we are going to put some adhesive on here and close this panel up. And then it's still open on both ends. So to close off that end, we're going to put that little decorative border on there. Like I said, I'm not giving you any measurements. I'm just going to show you how I put this together. Tomorrow I will post the measurements on my blog with the pictures, and you can refer to this video and try one for yourself. So there, we have that, right? All right, now we have our acetate. This has to be stamped with StazOn. We have our white cardstock. This has to be stamped with Memento because we're going to color it. Now, just so that I know where I want this, I am going to take a pencil and lightly draw a circle. And when I pull that out, I know that my image has to fit in that circle. All right, now we're going to be using this little one. Now I'm going to pop it up in the top corner so that my circle is somewhere close to center, and put my magnet on. Now, if I stamp this first, it's going to be harder to do this. So I'm going to take these two pieces and put them together. And you can do this with paper clips or whatever you want. I'm just going to make sure that these don't move for a moment. Oops. And I'm going to pop it back up in that corner, put the magnet on, and we are going to, and the reason I'm up in the corner is because when I take this acetate sheet off, I want to pop it back in the corner and stamp in the same place. All right, I'm going to pull this down a bit, and we will pick up our little goose, and we're going to stamp this and stays onto that acetate sheet. All right, here we go. Give that a really good press. Now that stays on is sticky ink. Hang on. Beautiful. I got a little smudge off the bottom of the stamp, but that's okay. Now I am going to pull this out, and I have to clean my stamp. I have Stays On cleaner here. We're going to clean this stamp. And then we will switch to Memento ink because we need Memento to be able to color with our Stampin' Blend markers. All right. That's done. We haven't moved that out of place. I'm going to put the cover on this one and bring in the Memento and bring in our two pieces. Now I can take these apart. I just need to put this back in the same place up in the corner. And then this is going to pop right down in the same place. Ink that up with some Memento. Give it a press. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Now, I'm going to get rid of that magnet, and we are going to just leave it right there, and I am going to color the image. And I'm just going to do this quick and dirty. Oh, something that I should do is grab my pencil eraser and get that circle off there. There we go. All right, oops, a little bit more. So let's do some poppy colored flowers. These are some small flowers, hard for my eyes. Hopefully we stay within the lines. There we go. Then we have some Granny Apple Green for the leaves. And I'm going to use the same color for our little frog here. And I've got some dark pumpkin pie for the beak of our swan. And some crumb cake for the straw hat. And let's do some poppy polka dots on our little floaty here. Oops. And then I'm going to use, this is dark pale papaya to color the floaty. I have to switch to the other end. I'm scared I'm going to mess it up. There we go. And I think I'll do the ribbon on her bonnet in that pale papaya too. There, I think that's good. All right. We will set this out of the way. And I'm going to bring back this one that's opened up. Remember, one goes on top, one goes behind, right? So we are going to put these back together and line them up perfectly, okay? Make sure they're lined up absolutely perfect. This is very important. And we're going to use some clips to hold that. Now I have a little 1/2 inch circle. And I am just going to fold this in half. If you're wondering what I'm using retired DSP and retired cardstock out of my scrap bin. This is the third card for both these two cards tonight. Not the one that I did on Saturday, but just to show you how to do this. Thought it was a good time to use up some of that stuff that's sitting around. All right, I've got adhesive on both sides of my circle, and we're just going to pop that on the back of the white and the front of the plastic sheet. Now I'm just going to maybe punch a hole. Holy moly. That took some effort. All right, we need some ribbon now. So we're going to feed the ribbon through the hole. And this will give us our pull for the card. Sorry about that news. My husband's sitting over there with headphones on watching TV, and he couldn't hear that it was making noise. Oh, funny. All right, so we will give that a tug. And I'm just going to leave it like that for now. All right, now that we've got everything fastened in place, I can remove these clips. Now, like I said, this is the trickiest part of the whole thing. Popping one in on each side and slide it in. There's our little goose, and there it is pulled out. All right, so that's how that goes. Now I have a little tag here, and I pre-stamped a greeting that says, "Hello, friend." And we're just going to layer those up together. I kept this pretty simple just because I didn't want to overwhelm you when you're learning something new, because this was a bit overwhelming for me, I'll be honest. It was a tad bit overwhelming trying to learn how to do this. I had never done one before last Saturday, but I wanted to give it a try. There we go. I'm going to pop some dimensionals on the back of this. And I'm just going to put that at a jaunty little angle there. And perhaps I will grab my bow maker and we'll put a little bow on here. Oh, I know what I'll do. Do something different. I'm going to take a little piece of tear and tape and put on the back. Right like so. Something like that. The bone folder, and we'll flatten that. And then we're going to remove that backing. And we'll take some ribbon and lay in that adhesive. And then we'll bring it around here and tie it off. There we go. Now we can either tie it in a bow or just leave it in a knot. What do I want? Let's try a bow first. Turn it upside down because I don't have any luck unless I do them upside down. See if the bow is going to look nice. If not, we'll just leave it tied off. Oh yeah, that's going to look great. There we go. Let's get some ribbon scissors in here and trim some tails. There and over here. There we go. All right, so that is this one completed. Our little magic card. And since we have this one halfway done, I suspect it would be nice if we put it all together. So let me see if I can finish this off. I need a little bit of adhesive here. And we'll just close that up. And then you'll notice on this one that I didn't do the scalloped border. I just did a plain border. And then I put a bow on the front. So now we just have to pop this one in between. That's the trickiest part of it all, is getting them in the right place. All right, and there's that one. When you pull that one out, ta-da! Cool, eh? So we've got those two. And then we've got the one that I did last Saturday with the little fox from the Playing in the Rain suite. So there we have it. So if you want to make one of these cards, I will have all the measurements tomorrow on my blog post, Stamp with Shel. And I hope that you make one, give it a try, and send me a picture. I'd love to see what you come up with. All right. Thanks so very much for stopping by tonight. I will be back Tuesday at noon with a lunch break video for you. All right. See ya. Bye-bye.